Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Godless, episode 5. It is called Shot the Head Off a Snake. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, hope you like flashbacks. Lots,
Aye, lots of them.
lots of them. It was a shorter episode, but a lot of it was flashbacks. Uh,
Yes.
which I liked the flashbacks for the most part, even if the messaging at times was a bit on the nose.
Yeah.
Like the entire opening flashback is basically Frank showing a younger Roy how to get close to a horse and sort of make the horse sort of loyal to you, all that kind of thing. And it's very abundant that Roy's the horse in this
Yeah.
scenario. This is what Frank did to him. He used compassion, made him think that he would be there for him. He would provide him food, water, the rest of it. Uh, it's a fine metaphor. It was just almost too on the nose, where I was almost rolling my eyes a little bit. Like, I get it,
Yeah.
Frank, I
Yeah.
get it.
And then someone comes in and shoots the horse, and oh look, the relationship's dead.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, and even after as well, the whole idea that he makes him shoot the guy, the guy who was about
Yeah.
to hang them. He makes him shoot him, and then later on, like Roy doesn't want to teach Chucky how to shoot. He's like, no, 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 you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want that in your life. It's fine. Um, so no, it was just a bit on the nose in that sense. And then you get a lot of other flashbacks later on in the episode. Um, these serve more of a plot purpose though, because it's actually a memory more than it is just a flashback later on.
Yeah.
Because Roy's actually thinking about when he first met Frank and how that relationship started. And it all kind of boils down to motivating. You see him as a kid, how he tries to steal Frank's horse, and then Frank kind of takes him and brings him back to his men. He's like, "Oh, you're family now," and this and that. And it's basically us just seeing the process that he was talking about with the horse, but with him as a kid, and we're just kind
Yeah.
of seeing the same thing play out, which is fine. But from a plot perspective, what it does is that it's basically the kind of motivation for Roy to say, "Hey, wherever I go, Frank follows and bad things happen. I don't want to be here anymore because I don't want anything." Because after the opening flashback, we get this big great montage of him helping Alice with the horses. It's going much better. Trucky's getting better. He's even he's using the lasso, and he's doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, he falls in his
Still
ass,
falls off. Yeah, he didn't fasten the saddle properly.
which is exactly what Roy asked him about. But he did, get it around the neck as he's supposed
Yeah.
to. So and you see like he's helping the well. They actually get to the water finally in the well.
Hmm.
All this stuff. So and you see like, and he's learning to read. He's doing better. He's getting up there, and you see that everything's at a very happy point. It's kind of like, okay, we're at a point now where everyone, at least this family, appreciates him being around and cares about him. This is when either something really bad's going to happen, or he has to make the choice to,
Yeah.
go for the reasons that he's doing. Um, Now, nothing bad happens per se in the episode itself, although it's building up to what the bad thing's going to
Yes,
be.
it's setting up the badness.
Yes, because what's his name? Greg, the journalist who's in town, and he's asking questions like, "Oh, wait, who's this, Mister Ward? Is that the name he's using?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's this, Mister Ward? He shot the. That's where the title comes from. He's like, he shot the head off the snake. You say that's a very good shot. Mm. And at the end of the episode, when they bring the horses down to the town, and he's just sort of watching him, he's just looking at him. He's like, hmm. He looks kind of like those posters of Roy, and he's got a good shot.
Yeah. He says it again. He shot the head off a snake.
He's putting
I
it
don't know.
together. He's a smart enough guy, and we actually end the episode with him riding his horse, possibly either to Frank or to see Roy specifically, and to make sure. I'm not sure which. Either way, he's making action
Yeah.
on that path.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all fine. But either way, you feel like this is what's going to bring trouble. And once Frank knows this town's had him, at least that family's had him, I can see everything kind of
Definitely.
everything's
Here he comes.
coming together in that sense. Because we see that he goes back to where the nun was this episode, and she's went off to a casino.
Yeah. Why
so
not?
so clearly Roy maybe gave her some money for her kindness as a child. So. But no, so it's basically the episode's mostly about Bruce building this stuff up. Just some gorgeous cinematography though. I do want to point out, which I mean all the episodes have had it to some extent,
Yeah.
but when they're back in town, Alice goes to the teacher to like hand the book back in and says, "Hey, I want you to leave. Can I sell you my ranch? We just got a well, going, and just the buildings are good.
It's all fenced in nicely.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, we fixed it all up. And she's like, no, I think I want to leave too. There's nothing else for me here. And she doesn't want to go back to the way things were once the men get here to work in the mine and all the rest of it. And she's like, you've made a home up there. Why do you want to leave? But obviously, we know why she probably wants to leave is because everyone in the town thinks she's a witch, basically,
Much.
amongst other things. But the one I wanted to bring up though is as she's leaving, as she's going to the door, there's just this almost silhouette shot. The sun's shining right in her, and then you get that profile with the hat again as she's leaving. Beautiful stuff. Best shot in the episode though, honestly, is probably when they're riding all of the horses down to the town. There's this great sweeping shot where obviously the camera's in a car or something going back and it's keeping up with all the horses just riding. It fills the frame beautifully.
Again, this is one of those moments that justifies how wide it is.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This is like, this would not be the same if it was 16:9. It just wouldn't be the same.
Wouldn't.
So beautiful stuff. So really, really strong. I feel that's maybe one of the shortest reviews we do of this still, because there's a few other things to talk about. Don't get me wrong, but
it's actually very straightforward.
In terms of this main plot, it's these flashbacks. It's setting up that Roy's going to leave to protect these people because he doesn't want them to get harmed. But we see the journalist, Greg. He's already kind of going to cause a problem there. So.
I think it's actually one of the most focused episodes because by its nature of it's the flashback for maybe half, and then the other half, well, not quite half, but a lot of the rest is what's going on in the town. We don't really get a lot of other characters. It's mostly Roy and the family. There's a few little bits here or there, but for the most part, it's that.
Yeah, obviously we'll talk about them in a minute, but another scene with Roy and Alice that point out, just kind of noticing that Alice probably has feelings for Roy now. She's kind of had them a long time. I think she's had this kind of awkward, like, I don't want to have feelings because, for tons of reasons, like, her husband's dead. She's got a son. She doesn't want to necessarily put herself in that position again. Because it makes her feel vulnerable to like depend on someone, because being in love kind of does make you depend on them, at least emotionally, if nothing else. And you see, like, Roy's got that bag of mail that he got.
Out of the water.
Out of the water, from the wagon that fell in, and he's just reading. He's practicing his reading, and he's because at first I thought he was reading the letter.
I did too at first. I was like,
and
is this it? This was what this letter was, and then it was like, oh no, this was just some random.
Because as he points out, the letter's just talking about what he was eating. It was like, this is what he had for breakfast. Like, what? And I'm like, is this the letter? But no, it's just some randomer. But it ends. He reads a couple, and then she says, "Read this one," because she smells it first, and it's because it's from a woman, and it's a married woman, like, writing her husband who's away working somewhere, maybe in the army or something like that, and it's just this romantic letter about, I wish we could touch, I wish we could make love, blah 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 blah. But just her sitting back, like, he's leaning forward reading, struggling, occasionally getting a word kind of wrong, and she jumps in. But which again is like this dependency, like they rely on each, because that's kind of what their relationship's been. She's relied on him to train up the horses. He's relied on her to teach him to read. It's been a literal thing. But she's sort of sitting back the entire time. And you can kind of just see this look in her face where he's talking about all these romantic things, just from the letter, not personally to her, but he's just reading all these.
She's hearing it and going, "Oh, this is nice."
Yeah. So really, really. Just a really simple little scene, but it did a lot to show you where the characters are at this point in the show.
Did. And I think it's again, to go back to, he has the letter, and I think this is him kind of knowing that he's close to that. He's like, all right, I've done the practice, let me read some real letters before I read mine.
Yeah. But I think there's just that reluctance, like having those feelings but not really wanting to have them because it makes things complicated. You can feel it throughout the entire scene. But hey, so that was their thing. Obviously, they run into Logan briefly again. Chucky can't keep his mouth shut. He's like, "I'll pull you off that damn horse. One day I'm getting my revenge."
Yeah, Logan has a bit of a smirk when he says that, though. He's like, "Yeah, you try that."
Yeah. See, now I want Chucky to be the one who puts him down somehow.
Yeah, just do it.
I don't know why or how that'll come to pass, but maybe he's just behind him when he's about to kill someone else, and he's like, "Nah, not having this." Boom.
Yeah, I think Chucky will kill someone, just because of obviously that a lot of the thing in this opening flashback is, Roy is kind of forced into killing someone by Frank.
Yeah, and obviously
I think it'll be
Roy's trying not to do that with Chucky. He's avoiding it at all
exactly.
costs.
But I think I'll do this mirror where where Roy was forced into it, but he didn't want to, and it was after they'd already been saved. Trucky'll kill someone to save Roy.
It'll be more justifiable than what he had to do. Absolutely. So, in terms of the other characters, we see that the town kind of like functioning. Everyone's kind of having a good time. Other than a couple of characters who are in a bad place, but we see the town's having a good time. They seem to be happy to have men back. They're dancing on
a jolly song going, which is going to be stuck in my head all night.
Something about Russian girls or something.
Yeah. That was in there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all going on. But we have obviously a little bit of the romance drama of Mary and the teacher. Teacher's not very happy, wants an apology. Mary's not giving it. And they basically have a lover's spat in front of everyone, which, notable in this time period because they're not really expecting a gay couple like this to exist, I guess. I mean, so they, like, that's kind of an awkward moment, and, Mary being Mary, just kind of like, F you all, like, doesn't care, goes on.
Yep.
But it's kind of setting this awkward tension up where they're in this bad place because they're sort of glancing at each other, giving each other the looks in the bar. Meanwhile, Whitey's just feeling depressed. In fact, that's the other gorgeous shot, is when Whitey's watching Louise from the distance in the horse.
Yeah.
With the sun behind him. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful.
It really is.
But he's getting drunk, he's throwing his bottle up and trying to hit him. I mean, we've seen Mary kind of take care of him. It's like she knows he's kind of useless, so she steps in. And she's been doing that throughout the show, but she's sort of like taking care of him, and he admits what he's down about. He's like, no, she's not in town. She's from there, and it's kind of like she smiles and laughs and calls him an idiot, but she kind of like, we're both kind of in a weird position here where we're both doing something that society definitely does not deem normal at this point in time.
Absolutely, I really like the relationship in general. It's kind of like Whitey's kind of this kid, and you kind of think of like, Bill's almost like the father figure to him, which makes her the aunt, and you kind of get that here.
Yeah. Now, I actually, because as much as we weren't necessarily, I didn't hate the scenes with the teacher last episode, but we weren't super into them. I feel like this episode's scenes worked a bit better for me, particularly when Whitey was with Mary, and it was kind of like, because he says something almost really on the nose where he's like, you have no idea how I feel, as he drunkenly falls back.
I did enjoy those parts of it. I was still less keen on the stuff out in the street.
Again, it was one scene though. It was kind of like,
it was. I mean, I'm kind of rolling my eyes that it's here, but whatever.
I think it's there because we're going to have a moment in the conflict where Mary's going to go and rescue her like a badass or something like that. We're going to have that moment. That,
or it's going to be the it's too late, and she's going to have the regret that she didn't, make it up with her before the end.
Yeah. So, so you got all those things. Obviously, a journalist, Griggs, he was like, try to get information out of the I can't remember the woman who had the baby, who was also building the church. Like, I know her face. She's been doing multiple things in the show up until this point, but she's always been a small character. But yeah, apparently he was offering free advertising to sell this thing for her, but we never heard what the request was to get it for free. I'm assuming it was prostitution of some kind.
I think it was pretty clear that it was, given that she was talking to the teacher who had that job before, and
it was the way the teacher kind of protect, because I almost thought that I'll be more interested in that. That's too kind of just normal.
No,
almost.
I think it is just that, because the idea that she's
that's what I'm saying. I thought that at first, but it was the teacher's reaction to it that told me no, it was just that, because it was the way she kind of said, no, you don't talk to him anymore, I'll take care of this. It was the way.
Think from the teacher's perspective, though, it's more like the idea that she's always chosen to do it, so she was okay with it. But it's here, like, she's being coerced into it, and that's not okay. That's the difference for her.
She was basically becoming the madame, the mistress of the is that madame? Am I thinking the right word? Yeah. Anyway, the one who runs the brothel, that person, if I'm not nailing it. She's basically been this Molly figure here, where she's like, no, I'll take care of this. You don't have to do that, because this girl is clearly more naive than she is. She's clearly a lot more timid. She's not as confident with people. Yeah. So you got that. You got a little bit of Bill. Bill goes to the army, and the army's basically like, he's not our, Frank's not our problem. We don't care.
We could go out and do that, but hey, we're not.
he doesn't he even justifies it. You could almost look at this as some political commentary here, just this oh well, they brought it on themselves. Like, you know, we don't have to take responsibility and deal with that.
Yeah,
you know?
and he basically goes, "Hey, we got orders. We just stick to our orders. We don't have to do anything outside of that."
Yeah, I don't think it's a specific political commentary, but I feel like you could apply this to so many different things. But you see that Bill's still with the Native American guy, and he's got this conflict where he's like, well, I don't want to go home empty-handed, but if I take Frank on myself, it's suicide. Like, nothing will come from it, especially since he can't actually shoot right now. He's blind. So I'm actually really curious as to how that'll intercept.
What does he decide to do?
Yeah, back into the main kind of like town and plot. Like,
I wonder if it is he does decide, because obviously the message here is Native American goes, it sucks to go home with less than what you planned, but at least you get home.
Yeah. So
I wonder if he does decide to go home, but then Frank's going to show up there anyway.
Yeah, or he'll realize that's where he's heading, so he will try and get there first to warn people. Like that'll be how that kind of plays out. But I don't know. But it's solid stuff. So yeah, there was a little sprinkling of the other characters throughout doing these various other things. But yeah, it was mainly the flashbacks with Roy and Frank, which were fine and they were well acted. I actually really liked Frank in those flashbacks. The way he kept being sure of himself and like not caring that when he was a kid that he was pointing a gun at him, or even just the little joke where Roy as a kid takes away the horse and then Frank's buddy's just like, "Hey Frank, isn't that your horse?" And they're just sitting right there next to the horse. As he rides it away.
I thought it was interesting that even like that long ago, Frank still had the "I know what I'm gonna die" thing.
Yeah, he's always had that apparently, and or even just the simple little thing where Truckee getting thrown off the horse and the other scene kind of mirrors Roy being thrown off the horse here when Frank whistles for it.
Yeah.
So nothing.
We see him get the letter from the sister.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now it's from his brother.
You would imagine so. I mean, it's the best guess at this point.
Yeah, because I know before we were thinking, maybe it's from a girl, like a wife or something, a partner, an ex. But now I'm kind of leaning towards the brother.
I'm wondering if the brother's dead and this is a letter about how he died.
Could be.
I'm wondering if it's that. I could be wrong, but it was just kind of a start.
Presumably, it'll be the reason he never came back for him.
Yeah. Which and death would be a reason for that.
It would. I'm not saying it maybe definitely is dead. It could be just he thinks he's better to stay there.
No, yeah, absolutely. So, so clearly we're building up to kind of the final act here because we're setting up the danger. It feels like we're really I think since the show started, it's all been ticking down till we get this conflict where Frank comes to LaBelle.
We've just been waiting for the showdown for a while.
Yeah, and not in a bad way, just in the sense that...
No, just it's always been there. Like, since the start, you've kind of known, this is heading for a showdown. This is where it's always going.
It has to come down to this. It always was going to. So no. That is episode 5 of Godless. We'll be back with episode 6. I think we have that planned for Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not going to be too specific, just in case I'm wrong, but I think it's sometime in the middle of the week. We have it planned. It slowed down a little bit because another Netflix show original started, which we're also working our way through, so we're kind of having to alternate between them if we only have time for the one.
Yep.
So that's the thing. And if Black Mirror's shadow drops midweek, like we think it may, then that'll also throw a wrench into plans a little bit. But don't worry, the final episodes are coming. Like I say, episode 6, middle of the week sometime. So there you go. That is episode 5. So let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Also, we got a really interesting comment actually from someone who's familiar with horses and horse riding and horse training and that kind of thing. Just how this was on episode 3 where we had the whole breaking the horse in kind of thing. Yeah. And just how some of the techniques were the riding itself was quite impressive, but the techniques were questionable. I just thought it was interesting to hear from someone who actually knew about any of it, because we would never they could tell us that throwing a tomato at the horse's head is a valid tactic for breaking it in, and we wouldn't...
It's funny because obviously we'll often pick up on other little things to do with our expertise of things that we know, and we'll be like, yeah, okay, it's not really what it's supposed to be, but whatever. It's always nice to hear these things from other people.
Yeah, who actually know the thing, especially something as specific as this. Whereas I feel like you hear it a lot with police and like things like that, where they go, "Oh yeah, all the things you see in TV and movies are all bullshit." But it's funny when it's something a bit more specific that you don't really think of, where you could show us literally almost anything, we would buy it.
But the point is, it looked damn good, so I don't care.
It did look damn good. It did. So support us on Patreon at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. Get us on Twitters at mailed_fuzz. That is us. Thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next time. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?